The sense of achievement I get from building a car from scratch I can't really sort of fathom it. It's to see someone then enjoy it and drive it and come back to me and say, "Oh, I just love the car. It's just so much fun." So I'm trying to achieve with building these cars the drivability of an original car, but quicker, more fun to drive, more exhilarating, but with a little bit more safety involved. My name is Paul Foreman. I'm the owner of Outlaw 718 Limited, and I build bespoke 50s and 60s outlaw sports cars. So my first actual air-cooled car was a beach buggy, and then from then I owned Beetles, camper vans, and I like the shape, that sort of iconic shape that the Beetle had, and the 356 Speedster, Porsche Speedster, was a very similar shape, so that sort of got me interested into the Porsches that way. The confidence to build a car came from, I think, my father really. He was into, still is into vintage motorcycles, and he was restoring old motorcycles, so I helped him with that. First car I built was a 356 Speedster, 30 years ago now. And then after that, I then decided, I found there was a company started building the 550s, making fiberglass 550 body shells. And I really liked the look of that as well. So then I built one of those, and that was in 1991. The first one you build, it does take a long time, and as you progress, it speeds up. More time that I've spent building the cars, I know exactly what to do, what parts work, what don't, where to get parts from. The Outlaw concept is effectively you take a road car, you strip it out, you enhance the engine, suspension, brakes, basically turn it into a race car for the road. You do have to have an outlaw state of mind where you're not too worried about maybe paintwork so much and interior comforts. You're a little bit more maverick maybe. Some of the more bespoke projects where you haven't got a manufacturer giving you a fiberglass body shell that they've already made, you really need to find a scale model of the original car, and then you can 3D scan that. From that 3D model you can take cross sections and produce a wooden former, which then can either have an aluminium body made over, or it can be machined to give you a full scale model, which then can have a fiberglass mould taken off. I build the chassis from scratch. I have a big I-beam jig that I use, and everything gets bolted down to that, so when it's welded it doesn't distort in any way. The 914 engines can be made to perform really well. I mean, they're a strong engine. The cases from factory were cast aluminium, so they were a strong case from day one. And there's a lot of tuning parts. They are reliable, and they're very torquey engine as well. They just pull like anything from low revs, so they're much nicer to drive as well on the roads. On the track you just have to sort of rev them a bit higher, but then I fully balance all my engines anyway, so they do rev very well. The steering is rack and pinion steering as opposed to worm and drive, which the original cars had, a little bit more looser, so you can change ratios as well if you want. And the braking systems are all disc brakes. For my cars I use disc brake systems from Germany. They're not cheap, but they are very good quality, and they're very good at stopping the car. The pedal system I make myself. The suspension I make myself. The gear shift linkage is all made by me. It's all made to suit the car basically. Same as my wiring. I do all my own wiring, make my own wiring harnesses, but they're all bespoke to each car. When I started building these cars, it was a hobby. I built them for me because I really liked them, and then I would take them to shows and out on runs and stuff. People started seeing them and liking what I did, and then asking me to build cars for them. So my hobby became a business, and it's blossomed from there. From 1955, 54 up to 60, 61. That's the range of cars that I've sort of built through those years. My ambition, I think, now would be to carry on as I am, but in a larger premises, more custom built for what I need. I can honestly say most of the people I've built a car with I'm still in contact with and see them quite regularly. You know, we meet up, so it's almost like a social network I'm building as well as the car. No car is ever going to be perfect straight off. There's always adjustments you need to make, and that's another part of the process. And I tend to do that with the owner, so we do it together. It's a collaboration. I just put a lot into each car, and I hope that the owners recognise that when they see it.